This segment is sponsored by Dennis Goins of DennisGoins.com. Hi, I'm Lady Charmaine, and I'm here with financial advisor Dennis Goins. He's back today to talk about how much do we need to save. So, Mr. Goins, you say many Americans realize the importance of saving for retirement, but knowing exactly how much they need to save is a whole nother issue, right?
Absolutely. And good morning, Lady Charmaine. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a very critical point today for retirement. A lot of people, basically, there's a lot of information out there, a lot of commercials, a lot of software programs that they can use, and it really confuses a lot of people. But the specific point is, how much do you need to save for your retirement? And there's two concepts that you can work with. The income base, which is basically if you're making $50,000 and you're pre-retirement, they suggest that there's anywhere from 70 to 80% of that is what you probably will need in retirement. On the other hand, there's an expense-based concept based on your expenses that you have now and the expenses that you have in retirement. It is also critical. And as I've said many times before, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. So you have to match those expenses with that income to determine what you'll need for retirement. But the first thing you need to understand is, what age do I want to retire? There's a lot of factors that can impact when a person retires, and a person may desire to retire at a certain age, and the average retirement age for the most part is 65 years old, but there could be health concerns, downsizing, any type of changes that would obviously put a problem within that, and a person would have to retire earlier than what they would expect to. And the key thing now is people are retiring earlier and living longer. Mm-hmm. So that increases the pressure, the impact of having enough retirement income to last them for those years. And when we look at life expectancy, of course, you ladies, as you know, have an advantage over us guys because your life expectancy on the average is 88 years old, but men on the average is 86. So if a person retires at age 65, then obviously they need to have anywhere from 20 to 30 years worth of retirement income to maintain them within retirement. So that's also a very critical part in planning. And it all goes back to what we've talked about in all the previous segments. It goes back to planning. If you lack a plan, then you do have one, and that plan is to fail. So you have to sit down with an advisor or someone to analyze what your number is, how much you need to have to retire, and some of the other key factors that we're going to talk about is keep your health care needs. One of the highest inflationary segments of your retirement will be healthcare. Healthcare is ever increasing, and you need to basically prepare for that in retirement, and also long-term care needs. And long-term care, your medical insurance does not cover your long-term care needs. A lot of people, unfortunately, find that out the hard way. But you still have to plan and fund that in retirement.
Mr. Goins, what is long-term care needs when you say that?
I beg your pardon, I can't hear you. What did you say?
What is long-term care needs? Is that when a person goes into the hospital, they may be diagnosed with cancer, and they may need long-term care and medications? Long-term
care is where a person needs some assistance. I mean, if they can't do what we call ADLs, or activities of daily living, like feeding themselves, dressing and handling themselves, then they need somebody to assist them, whether it be in a facility or where somebody comes into their home. I mean, and for the most part, if you don't have a person at home that can care for you, then you're going to have that service and that need available. And a lot of, again, medical insurance does not cover that. And that's a significant concern, because you have to self-fund that out of your retirement plan assets before any government aid is available to you. So you have to plan for that to possibly happen in your retirement, and you have to what we call spend down to all your assets before some of the government programs can help you.
And then
So that's what long-term care is very critical there.
I wanted to go back to, we were talking about life expectancy, and I was reading, and I never paid attention to this before. You should take into account your family history, how long your relatives have lived, and diseases that are common in your family. And it looks like that could probably play a part into how long you may live. Is that something that people should really pay attention to?
Definitely. Again, life expectancy is very critical when you look at that, because you have to project. Of course, nobody really knows when they're going to die, but you have to project. If you have a family history of a certain type of life-debilitating illness or situation, then that you may have to plan and consider that the individual might be impacted from that also, and it would impact their life expectancy. So that has to be planned. I try to, when I project for my clients, at least run it to 90 to 100 years old as far as their projections. And if they live longer, then good. If they live less, at least they have the money to cover it. But you have to make some type of determination based on your family history and health situation as what's an expected lifetime that you live. And that's very critical. Nobody really knows, but you have to really project that.
Then you also talk about lifestyle. Why is considering the type of lifestyle you want to live so important after retirement?
Well, you want to maintain that standard of living. That's something, a lot of people never can do what they really dream to do until they retire, because a lot of people are in a situation where they're working in a job that has kind of tied them down, and they really couldn't take advantage of, particular type of hobby or philanthropic opportunities. They couldn't do it because they were all tied into their job. But now that they're retired, they can get in that total different lifestyle, whether it be playing golf every day, whether it be swimming, playing tennis. That's something that they look forward to, and they're finally able to do it. Because for whatever work-related reasons, they couldn't do that. So that's a good time that a lot of people look forward to. Hey, I can finally retire. Me and my significant other, and then it's just us, and we travel. So that's something really to look forward to, and you have to plan for that to really enjoy that. And many baby boomers have found that, even after they retire, and some of my clients have mentioned this also, when they're used to working, and then one spouse is home and the other one's working, but when the person retires, they have to go get another part-time job because they get on each other's nerves. So that's kind of interesting. So they go and take a part-time job. It's something they enjoy doing to do. It's nothing they're required to do, but it's just something to kind of keep the mind active for them. Another thing that I wanted to cover also is inflation. And that's particularly for a person that has a pension. And I find this a lot with a lot of my clients. $5,000 today, and we talk about life expectancy, 15, 20, 30 years in retirement, won't be worth $5,000, 10, 15, 20, 30 years beyond that. So you have to compensate for that with other investments that have inflation protection in it. And you have to consider inflation when you're retiring. I mean, if you have a pre-retirement income of $100,000 and you have a retirement projected at $80,000, you need to inflate that for the rest of your life. You should consider a 2 to 3% inflation rate for the rest of your life. If not, then your standard of living will probably decline. I mean, and that's very important when you have a pension, a fixed pension that pays you the same amount for the rest of your life that is not inflation protected. That can be a problem. That can be an issue as far as your lifestyle. So that's something that you should consider in other retirement vehicles to kind of supplement that fixed pension. And also Social Security. Social Security is an important, but it should not be the primary part of your retirement income. Matter of fact, the study shows that only about 45% of Social Security covers the total income for most Americans. So you have to obviously supplement that with other type of vehicles. And it's never too early to start saving and planning for retirement. And I always talk about the $40 latte, where people basically don't balance their checkbook and don't know how much is in their checkbook, and they go and buy that $5 latte, and they don't have enough money in their checking account to pay for that. for whatever reason, and then that $5 latte becomes a $40 latte. Well, it's the same concept with retirement. Same concept with retirement. If you don't know what your number is and what you need to have for retirement and you're ready to retire, you're going to have an unfortunate circumstance there. So it goes down to really the planning and providing for that and knowing what the total number is necessary, an inflation-protected number. Not just a number that at age 65, a number that is based on your life expectancy, that's based on your health care needs, based on the other lifestyle things that you want to do. All that has to combine to one particular plan, and that's one of the things that should encourage all the listeners to do, to try to get a financial retirement plan to have a very successful retirement.
Well, you are so informative. If people wanted to reach you and talk to you more about these topics, how can they reach you?
They can reach me, again, through my email address, dennis@dennisgoins.com. Also, I encourage them to check me out on my website at www.dennisgoins.com. And also, they can link with me on LinkedIn at Dennis Goins and Associates, and also a Facebook page at Dennis Goins and Associates. And a lot of the information that we'll talk about on these segments and other issues are on those websites, and they can obviously feel comfortable in contacting me directly via my email address, and we can talk more detail, because everyone has a specific situation and affects them. Not everybody's the same. It's a specific situation, and a person should definitely get a second opinion and have someone to review the situation.
Well, that is so wonderful. And I want to thank you so much for coming on this show. And I want to remind everyone just to go to DennisGoins.com for more information. And you can also check out this interview again. He always have them posted on his website. And we look forward to talking to you again next week.
Very good. Look forward to it.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to learn more about financial investments, contact Dennis Goins at DennisGoins.com.